Well, there's Kathy, Gary, Spike, Rebecca, Omni. Well, there, Omni. Welcome. Well, you say there, Yates, Cheyenne, Lorianne, Sunny, Lorna, Gary Spikes. We got Mr.
Ryan Barber, Paranormal Pixie.
Sunny, hello, Sunny. Welcome, everybody.
Tune in on a Sunday evening. Welcome, everybody. Judy. Nice seeing you, Judy. Leonard. Hello there, Leonard. Nice to see you there, Leonard, from Miami, Florida. We got psychic Melinda Williams out there from Arizona. Melinda, I am coming to Arizona. Yes, can you believe that? Yeah, in the middle of July. And we got Val from Michigan. What do you say there, Val?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Oh, nothing much.
First thing I want to do is have a hat tips to the veterans and the first responders out there. Give them a back slap, handshake, and remember the homeless people out there. They need help. So we got Fred K. From Virginia coming in here, and he's a pretty interesting person to talk to on Sasquatches. Him and his wife of Cherokee extract. They have an experience. They have I would say, a long experience with Sasquatches, the juveniles, and he's got some interesting takes on the Sasquatch behavior, some of the things that I've heard about, such as humming, and those kinds of stuff. But I think that we can ask him about what his opinion is of childbirthing. That's always been a question that I've had. When is the time? Is there a time? Is there a season? Or are they pretty much like us? Any season, any month. So I think he's a great interview. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah. Hello, Dirt Road. Welcome. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, there has always been a question. We have Bigfoots, but we also have giants. And a lot of people don't know that. So there is a distinguishing characteristics between the two. So let's welcome Freddie. Come on down, kind sir. How you doing? Welcome to the show. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of background about you.
All right, I'm Fred Caney of the Virginia Mountain Bigfoot Research Organization here in Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. I've been doing this for about 43 years now, And the funny thing is that people can't understand about our group is we don't use science. All we use is the history through the native Indians. Because you think about it, if you want to learn something, you don't want to learn secondhand. You want to learn from the horse's mouth. Mm-hmm. And you, excuse me, and you get the information from the native Indians. But let's take structures, for example. All the structures you take pictures of, go to the native tribes that was in your region and look up their pixel glyphs, right. Pictures and all that stuff. And you find out it matches, excuse me, it matches 100%.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the stick structures, no matter where they're at, they relate to earlier inhabitants, native Indian inhabitants in that area?
Yeah, let's say, like, I know you've seen them. I know Val's seen them. You got trees about this big around, a little bit bigger, that are bowed and shoved in the ground or under a log. That means it's plenty of food. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you got your X's. You got where the X's cross high, in the middle, and low. Each specific cross has a meaning. Mm-hmm. From friend, my area. You come into my area, I'm gonna rip your head off. Mm-hmm. Talk about other squatches. Mm-hmm. What it means. you know, and it's just everything about a Sasquatch is all common sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to. You know, we have a relationship with these squatches. Like I said, I've been with them for 43 years. The first time I was turkey hunting, and I saw 6 of them. I walked in here, I saw 6 of them walk through the woods. I stopped, they stopped. I looked, they looked. As soon as I grabbed my camcorder, they scattered. But I did manage to get 3 of them about zoomed in at 75 yards. I got one on the right side of the tree looking dead at me. And on the left side of the tree, I got a brown female laying up against a tree looking at me, and behind her, over her shoulders, a cinnamon blonde Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I talk to them like I'm talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
because they do know how to speak English
Mm-hmm.
just as well as we do, but they choose who they want to talk to. Like now, my wife is Cherokee,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a full-blown empath. They talk to her through mind speak,
Mm-hmm.
and they're speaking English to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people don't understand that a Squatch chooses who they want to talk to. Like you got Expedition Bigfoot. That one guy claims that he's going to meditate to talk to the Squatches.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true, because you don't choose them. They choose who they want to speak
Mm-hmm.
or talk to, and they can also tell if you're a good person or a bad person.
How is that done, Fred?
Well, I'll give you one example. We have a girl who's sweet as a button to your face, but she's a rattlesnake, because I've known her since she was in diapers. And she wanted to come to our camp and see the Squatches one night. I said, okay, no problem. Not a Squatch showed up. I said, let me try this. So I told her, I said, you're going to have to leave. So she left. As soon as she left, the Squatches come in, and they told my wife that they did not like her, so they did not show up.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's not the first time I've heard that. A previous guest here, Janice Carter, who I have a lot of respect for, she mentioned the same thing to me in a personal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And she called it reading. They're reading you, Val.
Yeah, like a book.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the first time I had heard that. And so I had her explain it to me. And it seems like there's some truth and wisdom to that based on my personal experience. That's what I have to say about that. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they're able to do that. But I can tell you, in my personal experience, that thing could have easily dismantled myself and the partner I was with easily. I had a weapon on me. I always do when I go in the woods. But you know, there was something about a mutual respect. I was able to walk away freely and talk about the experience. And as a chess player, as an amateur strategist, there's something to be said about when two masters, two generals meet on the battlefield and still have that gentleman's air about them, you know, allowing one person to pass without warring on them. So I seen that is quite memorable, and I'll never forget that. So the reading part, to me, I always said it was like somebody looking over my shoulder, rifling through my computer files. It was an intrusion to me. That's the way I felt. What do you say about that, friend?
Well, when I go hunting, I always carry a gun, but I don't carry a gun when it's not hunting season. Now, you say you went in the woods, you had, I think you said 6 up, 2 in a tree and 6 of them around you, or
Yes,
6
sir.
total. Okay.
Yes,
they knew that you weren't a threat.
mm-hmm.
They know you carried a gun. See, they can determine stuff like that. Now, if you went in and say, I'm going to blow anything away I can find, yeah, they won't show up. They won't even come within a mile of you. But like with me, when I go squirrel hunting, I tell them, y'all stay behind me to keep from getting hurt. And they listen. You hear them following you. Sometimes you see them and they're behind you. And it's just all curiosity. That's all it is. See, people give Bigfoots a bad name. They think, oh, they're going to kill you and all this crap. Not really. They are a very peaceful tribe like ours is because no one really messes with them. Now, you go out west, you're going to have them, throw boulders at you, scream at you, do this, do that, because they've been shot at and chased for hundreds of years out west. So, yeah, I don't blame them for being aggravated out there. But here, no one really messes with them,
Now, what do you think the reason for that is? I've heard other people ask me before, how come people down south in the Southwest ask, why is it that Sasquatch in the Northeast or Midwest are so aggressive? And I really don't have an answer for that.
All right, I'll make it short and sweet. Now, the Squatches in Canada are big and dangerous, right? They migrate down through into Washington State, let's say on the West Coast. They come down through Canada. Now, think of the sizes. The biggest ones are in Canada. And as you come down into Washington State and California and all that stuff and start coming across the U.S., they get short, smaller, and smaller. I'm not talking about like down to like 3 foot tall, full grown, but the further east you go, the less aggressive they are, unless they come down in through Canada. Because I got a buddy who lives in Michigan, and when they had that big fire up in Canada last summer or last year, whatever, they come down, and he had two that come on his property, and one of them shattered the windshield on his truck and screamed at him. Just regular Squatches don't do that. Now ours, they hunt, if they live just like the Indians to a point, when they give birth, there is no birthing season. They give birth just like any other human. They're 99.9% human. They do know how to speak, but here's the kicker. And I tell a lot of people when they think I'm full of crap, take the samurai chatter. Slow it down 75 to 85, 90%. When you do, you will hear a native language. That's how I found out the ones on the East Coast. When I go in the woods, I'll say it two ways. I'll say either Osio, Oshiguasu, Aganale, or I'll say Osio, Aganale. The first one means hello, how are you, my friend? The second one means hello, my friend. Because, let's see, they're very intelligent, but you tell people to slow it down and they look at you like you're stupid. They don't understand. I said, take the Squatches in your area. Okay, find an audio that someone in your state got caught samurai chatter. Slow it down. Check out what native tribe was in your area hundreds of years ago. Once you do, look at the language. Take the language take the samurai chatter that you slowed down, and write down one word that you can pronounce and write down. Then go to the ancient dialect language of the tribe and match it up, and now you know what language they speak. Now, we got a Squatch. His name is Swift One. His native name is Gagin Shikwa. You look it up, it tells you it's called Swift One. People don't know that. You try to tell them, we know their names, and they don't understand how we know so much. It's all common sense. That's all it is.
Well, brother, if they can speak English, why would I need to translate what they're saying? If they're speaking their native.
Repeat the question.
if they speak English, if they're capable of speaking English, and that's the language that I speak, why would they revert to their native tongue in speaking?
Well,
because I don't speak it, and I don't understand it.
well, it's very simple, like around our camp, we got half the tribe that's behind the camp up on the mountain, and we got the other half that's across the road. They stay in like a mile wide area because there's so many of them, and we've heard them talking to each other in their native tongue. We've heard them sing in native tongue. We've heard them sing in English, and we've heard them sing and even talking English, talking to each other. But when it comes to talking verbally English, they only do that to people that they choose. They don't talk English just to anybody.
Gotcha.
You can talk to a lot of old mountain men, and they'll tell you that while they're in the woods hunting back in the mountains on their property, they'll hear people talking English.
Exactly.
So like, yeah. On the other side of the ridge, so you walk up top of the ridge, like, who's on my property? And there's nobody there. There's nothing there. You hear movement, but you don't see anybody. But you hear chanting or talking off in the distance while you're hunting. That's the Sasquatches. That's what people don't understand.
So I almost envision that this is similar to you're in a base camp, center of two different groups of Sasquatches. Am I correct so far?
I wouldn't say in the middle, like I said, there are two different types of Sasquatches. They're the same, but they're different. The ones with the conical head are the ones where everybody sees. They got the human face, except for the nose, maybe or something. Like, I sent you a picture of one, and people.
And you're saying that some have conical shaped crowns,
right?
And others have a rounder head.
It's like how the Egyptians, how they have the elongated skulls.
Yeah, like the aliens.
Right. We call those non-you-know-wees or rogues. They're the ones that's got their whole face is hair. You see the black eyes, nose, and a thin mouth. Those are the aggressive. We've had them in our camp one time.
And are they nice, friendly, or what?
No. Let me give you a hint. You and your wife is walking through the woods, right? Just enjoying a nice day walking through the mountain, and all of a sudden your wife starts wandering off. And you're like, hey, get back here. So you grab her and bring her back to you. But when you go up to her, she's got a blank look on her face. All right. A rogue will zap her and make her come to him. I've had to end up tying a rope to my wife to keep her with me. And they will use her as a mate.
Actually sexually assault.
Do what?
They would. You're implying that they would actually sexually assault her.
A female, yes, they will use her as a mate. Because
we're getting some echo, some feedback.
From me?
Yeah. It just started.
Oh, I'm sitting in my bedroom. I ain't got the only noise I got is the fan going. It's a little teeny fan.
Yeah, I don't know why. We can hear self talk to you.
And if I push, well, I don't know what to do here. Because what I'm seeing at the bottom here is Mike, Cam, Chat, More, and Lee. That's all I'm seeing on the bottom of the screen. If I hit the wrong button, it's going to take me off the show. So I don't want to do that.
Sure.
When did it start?
Just a second ago.
Oh, that wasn't me then.
Yeah, something feeding back into my ears, and I was booted off StreamYard here.
All right. So what I'll do is let him talk, and I'll mute his mic so we don't get the feedback. So go ahead, and I'll let you talk, Freddie, and I'll just mute you when he asks a question.
Okay. Let's talk about the juveniles. I mean, not juveniles, but the eye color. That's something that everybody wants to know about. Squatches produce 5 to 6 individual colors with their eyes called bioluminescence. That means you go down to the blackest part of the ocean, you got fish that produce their own electricity. That's called bioluminescence to a point. That's what Squatches do. You got white, which means they're excited. You got yellow, which means curiosity. You got yellowish orange, which means curious but nervous. You got emerald green. Wait till I tell you something on that one. Emerald green means trusting and relaxed, which that's all we get at our camp. Red, agitated and or peed off, ticked off. And bluish gray, which means protection mode. That's something a lot of people don't understand. Now, the green is a wild color. At my camp one night, I went up the trail to get to the road, to walk down the road to another camp, see if they were there. And I had a 4-foot juvie step out 1 foot in front of me. His eyes, their eyes were just like ours. Like, you got brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes. But with the Squatches, it's either brown or black. Where ours, like with mine, is blue, the white around my eyes is white. But Squatches don't have white in their eyes. Every picture I see, people put white in their eyes. There is no white in their eyes. But they can produce bioluminescence for each mood they have. And that's something people have a hard time believing. Because I always ask people, have you ever seen this color? Ever seen that color? Yeah. Well, that was a Squatch. They think I know it's a bear. No. All the animals in the world, you got to take a flashlight and hit their eyes to make their eyes glow. Sasquatches are the only creatures that produce their own light. Now, how they do it, I can call it bioluminescence.
So, Freddie, how did we come up with the description of Sasquatch's eyes coming up with the colors for their moods? How did we come up with that?
Well, 43 years of being with this tribe and watching them every day. When we're camping, when we go hiking, even at nighttime. When I go out at night, I don't even need a flashlight. All I got to do is just see their eye color, and I know exactly where they're at and what mood they're in. I've seen every mood they've been in. And I tell people, come, we'll see what I'm talking about. And they see exactly what I'm talking about as far as moods go.
Yeah, because I do not have to look at certain women in their eyes. I can tell what mood they're in.
Yep.
So yeah, I can buy that.
Yeah, I have a large database of the different colors and stuff, and I found a lot of instances where witnesses have reported white eyes. I mean, all sclera, all white, no pupil color, just white dots in their head. And to me, when I out there on the streets, when I see something like that, I just know that these people are blind, visually impaired severely. So you're saying that's not the case? And I'm not an ophthalmologist, Fred.
Like I said yesterday, even though you see white in their eyes, they are blind. But Squatches have very keen sense. Like I say, they can have someone with them, and they could hear and know that they're there through mind speak or whatever. But yet they can walk around like they can see, but they actually can't. We got 2 in our tribe that I know of that are like that. And we've seen them run, we've seen them walk with another one in front or behind them, you know, and you wouldn't think they're blind, but they are. See, a Sasquatch has a very, very, very keen intelligence to them. Yeah, people say, I got to use science to figure that out. No, you don't. Because the scientists use us to get their information. And when you go out, like, all right, you go out to your area. You go out there and you say, I'm a distant tree knock. Bam, 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 bam. You might get a knock back, you might not. But what people don't realize, when a Squatch, if you're in this area and he sees you, he's going to do 1 knock. If you're walking and you're getting close to the tribe, you hear 2 knocks. If you're getting right up on them, you hear 3 knocks. And then all of a sudden you hear something like a sound of elephants running. I've had that happen to me so many times, and I learned to knock. But when someone goes out there and knocks on a tree, thinking that they're going to get a response, that's not, you don't need to do that, because when you pull up in your area, you have eyeballs on you. And that's called day watchers. Like that show, the meerkats, how they have guards standing around, they're called day watchers. And what they'll do is they'll see you come in, and they'll let the other tribe know that you're there. And then they will follow you everywhere you go. Like when you walk up a tree, you might hear on your left, you might hear on your right. And as you walk up a trail, you think, oh, that's just a couple of woodpeckers. But in reality, you're being parallel, because they're communicating with each other to where they're at and to where you're at. But they do it light enough to where you can barely hear it. I tell people, when you go in the woods, open your senses up, listen to everything. Like when I go out during the day here the last couple of weeks, getting sassafras roots, I hear them around me. I know they're around me. I can hear by the sounds they make, by the weight and the way they move. I see them once in a while too, and I'll just say, "Aganale," and I just go about my business. If you walk down a trail, now I will tell you this: a Sasquatch will show himself to a female and to children, but a male like you and me, we intimidate them. We're intimidation machines to them. They're kind of like, well, we don't we like you, but we don't trust you, because they're afraid that you're going to take their partner. But they would show themselves to a female and to children. And if you look back check records, you will read that they showed themselves to females and children. They in the Cherokee, way, the female is considered. They go out and they hunt just like the regular men do. The only thing the Cherokee women don't do is weave baskets. That's what the male Cherokee men do. But there's a lot of stuff that people really don't know. That I know. I can sit here for 2 weeks and tell you everything about a Sasquatch that I've learned, and none of it has come through science. It's all come through research through the ancient ways and by what the Squatches leave behind.
That is very interesting. Now, I've got a couple of questions for you. Judy wants to know, question for Freddie: how long is the gestational period? And also, what mood would it be in the eye shine that is color of a light blue? Sharon Guy wants to know, Freddie.
I'm not too swift on that digestion, whatever the hell that is. Female.
Yeah. So how long does the what do you call it? A baby. So a human is 9 months, right? So how long for a Bigfoot to have a baby?
9 months. And the other,
And the other one's the eye color for a light blue.
it's still in a protection mode. Bluish gray to light blue, still protection mode. That means like if a bear happens to be bopping by, you know, and the baby's around, and there's the rest of the tribe, their all eyes would turn bluish gray or light blue. And that's just considered a protection mode to protect the juvies. That's all that means.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to make sure gestation was the time of conception, the time of birth. Thank you. I just given a little delay from when I hit his mic, ladies and gentlemen, and from when we talk, so we don't hear an echo. So yes, thank you there, Freddie. Val, before I unmute him, would you like to say anything or ask any questions?
No, going back to his original point about males and females as opposed to Sasquatch, one intimidates another. From what I see through research and data mining, is that there seems to be some correlation to what Fred says about Sasquatches and their opinion or their reaction to man versus women and children. Now, I see a lot of instances where Sasquatch sightings are reported by women and children as opposed to men. On the other hand, I see a lot of encounters between man and Sasquatch that seriously don't end well. Seriously. And these are the killed and the injured ratios that I talk about in Sasquatch Bigfootery. So yes, I see a lot of correlation there. Even if you read look at the missing 411 books, there's a whole lot of men there, and there's fewer women, but a whole lot of children. So.
And I like to piggyback on that, Freddie. So, Freddie, I got a situation. I've got a guy here in Kentucky. His wife was fine. She goes out in the yard and does yard work. However, she dyed her hair to a color, and she wears a bikini. Now, a juvenile Bigfoot is in love with her and is so fascinated with her, won't leave her alone. Her hair is now bright red. The guy goes out, confronts this juvenile Bigfoot, and tries to get it away from his wife. The juvenile does not want to leave his wife alone and is mad. And so he goes out and just like whatever. And Big Daddy comes around and is like, leave my son alone. And now all hell broke loose. Now they got X's all the way around his property. They're banging on the side of his trailer. They're killing his chickens, and it's not nice. So with that, I like to see your response. And somebody else is asking, what does 3 knocks mean in your life?
Okay. A Sasquatch, if he's doing something that you don't like the situation you give me, have her mother, the girl's mother, come over there and scold the Squatch like they're scolding a child. Just go out in the yard and start because the Squatch will listen to a female. All what you got to do is go to say, I want you to da this, because basically her mother is basically teaching that young one and the older one a lesson in respect. If you look up documents through mountain folk, because my wife is from Kentucky. She's from Lee County.
Okay.
Beattyville, whatever you want to call it. and she's got Squatches over her. And every woman I've talked to, mountain lady I've talked to, lives on the mountain, say they're doing something. Like, good example, a lady had a swimming pool. She cleaned it out, filled up with water. Well, that night, the Squatches went in there and took a bath. And next morning, she got up and went outside to go swim, and the pool was stinking, full of hair, mud, and everything. She got mad and told, if you want to take a bath in the creek. And that's what they started to do. See, they will listen to an older lady. Now, the knocks. Each knock has a specific meaning. 3 knocks means, in other words, I go into your property, right? And you see me, but you can't yell because I'm in your area, right? So you knock on a tree, crack, 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 which means run like holy heck. Danger. 2 knocks means they're getting close. 1 knock means they're in your area and headed your way. When you have someone go out there and say, I'm going to knock on a tree, bump, 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 the Squatches are like, why is he banging on a tree? Is he stupid or what? They're not going to. You might get one a long way off, make a response, saying, oh, what the hell, crack, and that's it. I've had knocks as a good example. 2 years back, I'm going through the apple orchard to go squirrel hunting. And I go around the turn, and about 20 yards to my left, crack, 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 really loud. So I turned to face it, and I said, no, better not. Turn back around, and I caught 2 5-foot cinnamon blonde female juvies running from my right to my left. They darted out of a little patch of woods through the open field, probably about 80 yards, into some more brush. Because I was a danger, because I had a gun, which they didn't, which this tribe, this was a different tribe from ours. So they did that, and boom, I was dangerous. So I caught the 2 juvies running. I just stood there and looked at them, after they got in the bush, I just kept on going. But see, the knocks have a specific meaning. You will only hear 1, 2, or 3. You will never hear over 3 knocks. Period.
Okay, the next question is do you have any ideas on what the various whoop like calls mean? And thank you, from Liana King.
The whoops, they do that all the time. You'll hear, like, find a big one. You got to do the bobo, whoop. Everybody goes, whoop. Just because a Squatch does it, he might be saying, hey, I'm way over here. That's all that means. It doesn't mean, hey, danger's in the area. They don't do that. The whoops is just one way of communicating long distance. Like, hey, I'm over here. That's all that means. It has no other meaning. Like I said.
I just muted you. I'm sorry. Penny Van's also asking, Grizz, could you ask Freddie if he is near to the town of Shenandoah or Elkington, where I saw my kin and where I saw my boyfriend?
I'm about
boyfriend. Bigfoot.
I'm about an hour away from Shenandoah County, and I'm about 20 minutes from Elkton. You go to Waynesboro, Camore, Grotto, Harrison Grottos, then Elkton. And there's Squatches up there too.
I'm sorry, Ben. Let me hold on. All right. I'm sorry, Penny. You put B up. I said boyfriend. I meant Bigfoot. I'm sorry. Oh, let's see here. All right. Hold on. Let me mute him here. I got laughed. I can't hit the button when I was laughing. I know, boyfriend, right? I didn't pay attention when I read that. Then I read it again out in my head. Anyway, they want to know where you're from. And let's see here. Everybody's laughing. I'm sorry there, Freddie. I didn't mean to. And she meant Bigfoot, and I called it its boyfriend. I'm sorry. Which state are you from?
I'm originally from Waynesboro, Virginia. Well, basically Amelia County, which is down the other side of Richmond, Virginia. But I live in Stanton, Virginia. And like I say, I'm right at where I live at, I'm right at the base of the Blue Ridge Parkway, inside of a giant volcano.
And you mentioned, I think backstage, we're talking about Bigfoot and we're talking about giants. Let's explore that for a moment, please.
Okay. People, I tell people, I got 28 footers and everybody, oh, you're full of crap. Actually, what they don't realize is that only the true giants come out at night. Because if you see them during the day, they'd be like a sore thumb sticking out. They stay up on the mountain and they stay in the thickest part. See, Shenandoah Valley, especially along the mountain, has got mountain laurel. And that stuff grows tall and grows thick. They stay in stuff like that during the day, but at night they come out. I ain't got enough fingers and toes to tell you how many true giants we've seen just sitting in our camp at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Because we don't use cameras, we don't use thermos, we don't use flashlights, we don't use game cameras. We use the light of the fire. If I go for a walk, I don't even use a flashlight. They'll flash a color, which would be either white or green, and I know how tall they are by looking at them. The chief, like Indians, the chief. Right now, the chief is run deers. His father was run bears. He was 28.5 foot tall, and when he died, he was 500 years old. Now, people say, now, how do you know that? My wife's an empath, and she's Cherokee. They speak to her. Like I say, Squatches choose who they want to talk to through mind speak. If they speak English, it's very, very rare. We've heard it quite a few times.
Hold on here for a second.
There
you go. You're live. I don't know why I keep. Okay,
you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. True giants, they're smart. They live like the ancient Indians did. And the biggest one, like when you go hunting, you want to hunt that big buck, but you catch him on game camera at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's nocturnal, but he's the biggest buck you ever seen. He's like a record breaker. Well, that's what the Sasquatches are with the true giants. They only come out at night because it's the safest time. Well, people say, well, I've been out at night and I've never seen them. Because you're not going to unless they choose to let you see them.
And where do they live? Because I've actually had videos of people that claim to know where they lived, and they've gone crazy trying to prove where they lived and document where they lived. And all of a sudden, the videos got deleted and removed off the internet. And next thing you know, they actually disappeared and no longer have been seen. So where have you seen?
Where have I seen them? All over the place in the Shenandoah Valley. Me and my wife goes fishing up at Elkhorn. Reservoir. We catch a true giant and 2 juvies across the other side. The 2 juvies are laying on rocks sleeping, and the true giant walking up the ridge. We see stuff like that because we we show respect. Just put it to you that way. You show them respect, they show you respect in their way. That's actually what the whole thing is about. When you go out there and you see one at night, you want to chase it. Oh, I got to catch him. I got to catch him. Oh, what is that? What is that? They don't want you to, if they don't want you to see them when you catch a glimpse of them, they're gone that quick. They're gone that quick.
I am trying not to lead the witness, right, to tell where he actually sees them coming from. But where do they stay during the day where they're not able to be found?
They have, like I say, they're like the Indians. They build shelters, like birthing beds. They'll take a big mountain, a patch of mountain laurel, clean the inside of it out, put branches and everything on the top of it, and then they'll take and put, let's just say, big thick sticks around to support the walls and logs down for individual beds. They do not live in a nest. That is just something that science made up. Oh, they live in a nest. No, they don't. They ain't a bird. They don't live in a tree like a chimpanzee or a gorilla. Remember, we're talking about a very intelligent creature that lives exactly like the native Indians.
Have you ever seen the side of a mountain open up? I'm trying to unmute you. Okay.
Okay. Have I seen what?
A side of a mountain open up?
Have I seen the side of a mountain open up? No, you got to go over to Highland County to get where the president stays if there comes a World War III. That's the only time you're going to see a mountain open up. And that's a fact. We have an underground bunker on the side of a mountain over in Highland County. But no, Squatches.
Val, do you would like to add anything before we wrap up?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Freddie, would you like to add anything before we add up?
Well, let me talk about juveniles real quick. I tell people, if you want to learn about the adult Squatches, watch the juveniles. Because what they learn through the adults, through training. They have a period where they call stealth mode. Like when they come into our camp, usually we see their eyes. But when they're in training, they will not use their colors. They will just, like a light switch, cut it off. And juveniles are very curious. If you're laying in your tent, you hear something outside trying to get in your cooler, it's just a juvenile trying to get, so like with us, try to get some ice. We've seen them more time you can shake a stick at, trying to get in our cooler, mumbling and grumbling because they can't get in there. And we've also had them line up in front of the tent door sitting there looking at us. Curiosity. That's all it is. But everything that the Squatches do in nature is they're trying to teach us how they live. And it's all common sense. There's no science to it. It's just plain common sense. Like the language. Samurai chatter, slow it down. Write down what it sounds like to you. Go to that tribe, look up the ancient dialect language, and figure out what it is. And now you know what language they're speaking at about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's about it for right now.
Awesome, Freddie. I greatly appreciate you being on the show. Wow, it's been wonderful.
I don't know where the back, the feedback is coming from, but it's terrible.
It just came in when he came back. So who knows? But We'll get
terrible.
it fixed next time. I had to do some extra hitting buttons, but no big deal. Thank you, Nave. Greatly appreciate it. But
Thank
it was
you, Fred.
great to have you,
Coming in
Freddie. Yeah. And we want to say
chat
thank
more.
you. And Val, yeah, fascinating.
We'll
Fascinating.
chat more about this later. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Grizz, we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, do not forget tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Pulse. Don't forget to tune in for that. We have some exciting content going to be coming your way. And from coast to coast around the world, we'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern. See you shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again, Freddie. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.